y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. Got a story for you hot off the presses. Came out on yesterday, but it's really important that we understand what is going on, not just here, but also abroad. In addition to the wars that this nation wants us to know about, we also have to understand and be aware of the wars that we are not being made aware of and the reasons behind these wars. I'm not going to get into the reasons with this particular war, but understand, if you do some research, you will understand all this stuff been planned out for this particular time for the dominant society, because they are preparing for not only the transition into the new, order of things, but they're also preparing for global deletion of unwanted persons in places that have ample resources, or in places where there are too many people, period, because they're interested in having a certain number of people on the planet, and they feel like it's too many, so they are doing whatever they got to do. And so this story plays into that. So check this out. Let's get into it. Gizmodo: high risk of biological hazard posed by military-occupied lab in Sudan. Organization that makes the owl sound says. A smoke plume photographed over Khartoum, Sudan on April 22nd as violence continued following a failed ceasefire. Check this out. This is what's crazy. A military-occupied laboratory in Sudan poses a high risk of biological hazard and a huge biological risk, according to the organization that makes the owl sound. Representative in the East African country, Nima Said Abid, the medical doctor and the organization that makes the owl sound representative, expressed big concerns surrounding Sudan's national public health in Khartoum, the nation's capital city, where violence continues to mount between two opposing internal military factions, in a UN press briefing on Tuesday. All the people we've been talking about all year. See the pattern. The occupying military force kicked out all of the technicians from the lab, Said Abid said. Now it is completely under the control of one of the fighting parties as a military base, and that is extremely, extremely dangerous. Inside the lab are samples of polio, measles, cholera, according to Said Abid. The laboratory's website also notes that it houses reference samples related to tuberculosis, malaria, and AIDS. So this is what I want to stick with right here, is there are natural things that we can do to help ourselves if we happen to become infected with one of these things, except for, the AIDS. You get that, you just got it. But it's no different than, the Rona, because if you got Rona, most people who have had it have some long-term issue that they didn't actually recover from, especially if they had pre-existing conditions. But in any event, what I want to talk about is how we can counteract anything that we may come in contact with. And I'm going to do another video, but I just want you to pay attention to these samples that are noted here. I'm sure there are other samples of things that we don't know. If you go to the lab's website and look and see what samples are there, they're always working on stuff they're not telling you about. But there are some things that are going to be exported. And there are probably some things that they've used gain of function research to fix to be far more potent than it originally was. So we have to prepare. That's the best way I can say it. We have to prepare. And I know a lot of people are still wearing masks. I never have any issue with anybody wearing mask for whatever reason, because I understand you just don't know what's out there, what's not going to be out there, when the coast is clear, when it's not clear. And so here where I live, a lot of people, it's a small town, so a lot of people are not wearing masks, but there are still some people who are wearing masks. But what I want to suggest to everybody is that you begin to do your own research and start preparing for more lockdowns and coming in contact with airborne respiratory viruses, because a lot of these things that are likely going to be unleashed are going to be things that you get in contact, you catch when you come in contact with people, through the air. So get you some respirators while they're still on the shelves and you can still find them. Good respirators, not those cheap hospital masks. You probably want to start stocking up on things for dehydration. You want to, see if you can get you some antibiotics. If you have fish or dogs and your dog is sick, you might need to go to the doctor, get your dog some stuff, or you can order it online, but you need to do that stuff fairly quickly because the laws have changed. And you're not going to be able to do that on your own after June the 11th, I think. So, you want to have things in your house to prepare to be quarantined, gloves, cleaning supplies, things in event people have diarrhea or vomiting. You want to have food that you can prepare that's easy for someone to eat if they're ill. Things like Gatorade, things that you consume when you're dehydrated. All kinds of things. You want to avoid having unprotected sex if you are sexually active, because they may put out some cootie bugs that come from blood and semen and so on and so forth. We don't know what we're getting ready to come in contact with, y'all. But they've already told us that, the next thing that's coming is going to be worse than the last thing we just got over. And, bless the poor people in China. They just really have been going through for a long time. But we are just getting a taste of what they are experiencing. And I suspect that it is going to ramp up. So, let me continue reading this. Okay, so it says, with the electricity shut down and with no technician taking care of all these specimens, the risk of biological hazard is high, especially under military control, said the doctor from the organization that's trying to do this treaty that I was telling y'all about. It is not possible to properly manage the biological materials that are stored in the lab for medical purposes, he added. The intergovernmental agency said it is in communication with both of the fighting factions, but declined to say which side had seized control of the laboratory. So y'all already know this stuff orchestrated. They got contact. It's just all a part of the plan. This is the Hegelian dialectic. These people playing both sides, and they're not going to lose no matter what happens. So as far as we're concerned, we are victims and targets. So that's how you should see yourself. I'm a victim and I'm a target. Especially if you have black skin. You're definitely a victim and you're definitely going to be targeted. The ongoing violent conflict in Sudan arose last week between the country's national army and the paramilitary force called the Rapid Support Forces. Abdel Fattah al-Burhan leads the Sudanese armed forces. Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo leads the RSF. Previously, Hemedeti, I don't know how to say these names, I'm sorry. I'm sure I'm butchering them, had functioned essentially as a second in command to Burhan, who has been leading the country after a coup in 2021 ousted Omar al-Bashir. I talked about this before I got booted from Medium, how all these black nations have been destabilized early. And there's a recording out here. I'll have to play it for you when I do my other presentation, about basically some generals saying that these countries in Africa were going to be destabilized before, a certain number of countries in a certain number of years. And basically, Sudan is the next to the last one. The last one is Iran, and Iran has nuclear weapons. So it's going to be interesting these next couple of months. But anywho, these destabilizations are not accidental, and they are predictable because the information is out there. They let you know what they're going to do. So, it's up to us to understand in the big scheme of things how they will impact us. But now Hemedi is angling to take power himself. Significant international interest beyond Sudan's borders are also involved. So far, there have been 4,072 confirmed injuries and 459 deaths, according to the organization that makes the that makes the owl sound. So the other thing that we have to think about is, I know a lot of black people are like, I'm leaving America and going to Africa. You might be leaving the frying pan and jumping into the fire, because there's getting ready to be a battle for that place, and all these nations, or for all intended purposes, to speak in terms of Bible prophecy, all these kings are going to fight each other, and then they're going to come together. So the Africa is the future. America is a dying empire. Nobody's fighting for America. Nobody's fighting for Canada. Nobody's fighting for the West. There's nothing here. It has been raped and pillaged and corrupted. And so these people are not only destroying this so it will be uninhabitable, they are making sure they do things on the continent that destabilizes it, that deletes the people that they don't want there, enough of them, and make room for the Westerners to come and whiten it up. So that is what is happening, and it's also biblical prophecy, so we just gotta see it for what it is. However, Saeed Abid warned these numbers are likely a significant undercount. He described personally seeing 2 bodies in the span of less than a kilometer of travel while shuttling between compounds. On top of the occupied laboratory, the burgeoning civil war also poses other threats to public health. Many hospitals are shut down amid the fighting. There have been 14 confirmed attacks on healthcare facilities, the other lettered organization official noted. Multiple hospitals have been seized by military forces. About 1/4 of health facilities are operational at present, according to Saeed Abid. Then there's the lack of electricity and available clean water brought on by the fighting, which on its own carries a significant risk of causing or amplifying disease outbreaks, which is why I always, I'm harping on everybody should have water. Have enough water in your house. Have enough water on your person. Don't go any place without water, because we don't know when something is going to break out. You should also have water purification items in your home, whether it's life straws or other water purification systems, those tablets that you can get to put in water, even if it's just bleach, and you got to put it under heat and boil it for some time. You got to be prepared for everything, because we don't know. Even the water out of your tap might not be any good. We don't know what these people are doing. These folks crazy. Already before the fighting, Khartoum was in the throes of its first dengue outbreak. So there's just a lot of things with diseases over there on the continent. Add to that Marburg. And you also have to keep in mind that that continent refused any of the Western interventions they wanted to give for Rona. And so this could be payback. Folks like, you gonna get some drugs one way or the other. By the time we finish deleting, enough of y'all gonna be running for our stuff. So there's a lot of things going on, and a lot of tactics to try to get us to be fearful, to lower our immune system, to lower our frequencies, so that we are ill and afraid and more susceptible to things. I'm telling you this not to be afraid. I'm telling you this so that you can be proactive and get yourself in order for the next thing that's coming, because they've already told us they're going to have more lockdowns. They already told us more people going to die than died a couple of years ago. They already told us the next thing that's coming out is going to be so bad, we're going to think the last thing was nothing. So if you know this, like we do, there's no need for us to be sitting around thinking that, oh, we're going to be okay. It's coming here. It's going to be all over the world. Definitely, they're going to be calling us, trying to give us some cooties and some solutions for cooties, because they got to get rid of us. They know who we are now, and we know who we are. So they're going to be trying to attack us, and any place that we might land, anything that might be ours, they want to destroy it. So y'all have got to be, not playing around when it comes to taking care of business, getting what you need in your house while things are still available. I don't care if you got to go to the Dollar Tree, order your stuff online, go to different stores. A lot of stores are going out of business. A lot of brick and mortar stores are going out of business, even in online. So they have a lot of things on clearance. I've seen a lot of things. When I see stuff, I just pick it up and I throw it, in the garage, or I'll put it any place. But I just don't, I'm always thinking, what do I need for the next thing that happens? And not just for myself, for other people around me, because there are so many people walking around who are ignorant and just not really paying attention. They're going to be caught off guard, and I don't like that. So this is one of those times, like we did with the Rona back in 2020, 2019. We saw it in China, and everybody was like, oh, let's, we celebrate Christmas. We're going to do Thanksgiving. We just going to live. The next thing you know, we all sick. And, we didn't even get an official announcement for maybe another month or two. So, just be aware that as long as the borders are open, as long as planes are flying, as long as people are allowed to travel, and not only that, is that this nation is failing and it needs as many crises as it can handle or can't handle to make it fall. Expect more chaos. That's the thing. They got to bring the order, and they got to bring the chaos before they bring their order. So stock up on your stuff, people. Stock up on your mask. Don't let people talk you into, feeling ashamed because you want to wear a mask to protect yourself, when these things are respiratory. If there are respiratory infections going to be floating around, you need to be having a mask on. You need to keep them in your car. You need to keep them in your pocketbook. You need to keep them in your book bag. Like, you just got to do it. And you just got to understand that people are going to have their own opinion, especially after what happened the last time. So people kind of feel like, it wasn't so bad. And people who wanted to wear their mask, they were foolish. But a lot of people who said that ended up passing away. So you just never know. You don't know how your body is going to react to anything, and you don't know what's wrong with you. You could be good, feel good, but have high blood pressure. You could be good, feel good, but be a borderline diabetic. You could have some pre-existing health condition that could make you high risk and not even know it. You could have a heart defect, clogged arteries, anything. So what you need to do is try to detox your body. I'm not, and let me say for the record, I'm not a physician. I'm just a regular old country woman who is trying to survive whatever these people are throwing at us. But, I have changed my diet. I exercise more. I take vitamins. I drink more teas. I reduce the amount of flesh that I eat. I'm trying to wean myself completely off of it, since I know what's coming. I eat more vegetables. I'm working on my garden. As soon as things start growing, I'm going to start eating more vegetables and things that I grow and consuming less from the store. Drinking more water. If you drink a lot of sweet stuff, you need to get off the sugar. Sugar creates inflammation. You need to reduce sodas and sugary drinks. If you can fast, the less food you eat, the better, because you won't have all that bad stuff sitting in your body. When you get sick, it's got to come out. There's just a lot of things that you can do naturally and try, so you can try to avoid coming in contact with the healthcare system, because y'all saw what they did during the last event. It's going to be just as bad the next event, because the people in the system, they need their paychecks, and they're going to do whatever they got to do to continue getting their paychecks. So with that said, y'all make sure y'all take care. Get your families in order. Get your stuff in your house. Plastic cups, plastic utensils, things you can easily dispose of, extra trash bags. Continue to prep for everything and anything, because we just don't know what is going to come our way. But definitely be prepared for lockdowns, and to have things rationed, and for people who have resources to go run out like they did the last time and buy up everything. And then when you need something, you got to go to a quadrillion stores to just look for one item. That means toilet paper and, mouthwash, hygiene products, all those things, bleach. Just get that stuff in your house now while it's available, because when you want it, it won't be there. When things get bad, it won't be there, and the supply chain is broken. It's not going to be fixed, because the demolition is slow. It's just a gradual, slow process of destroying this place. So it is what it is, but you do not have to be a victim of it because of your own ignorance and your own fear that you allow to immobilize you. So continue to pray, prep, repent, pray that the Most High wakes up more people, pray that our people are protected. We need a hedge of protection around us like never before, and pray that the Most High just comes and delivers us. I'm ready for the clouds to come. So I'm just, I don't know how much more we're going to be able to take. Our food is under attack. The air is under attack. The water is under attack. Our health is under attack. Our finances are under attack. Our jobs are under attack. People are turning on each other. You can just see every day these crazy stories where these people look possessed. Darkness is here. We can act like it's not, but darkness is here. We just got to be prepared for what comes with that. So with that said, please like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. Please advise family members and friends to also get prepared for the next thing that's coming. Do not be caught off guard, but also do not have any fear, because we are protected. All right, y'all. This is Marley K, and I'm out.